There we go. All right, so welcome to the volume portion. Honestly, my favorite part because this is where we get to show you how to actually set up Drippi, which I'm really excited for. So at this point, right, you know why you should be on Twitter. You have a really strong offer, you have a really strong script. You primed your profile, so now you have a lot of credibility. And now we're going to get into how to actually be sending out a ton of messages to get awesome results. All right, so we're going to move over to one of my burner accounts. Okay, and we're actually going to do the setup there. Then I'm going to move to one of my other accounts to show you how I would scrape leads, what filters to use, and then how to actually input the message. If you want to personalize the messages, how to do all that good stuff. So we will get right into that. All right, here we go. So this is just a quick little burner account. All you need to do is you need to click the link that's going to be right here to drippy.ai. Let's go drippy.ai. And then you're going to be prompted with this little screen right here. You're going to click sign in. And then it's going to ask you to sign in using your Twitter. So it actually uses the Twitter API. And it's not going to actually ask you for your username and password if you're already signed into the account on that specific browser. Okay, so you just need to authorize the app. There we go, and then it's going to connect right here. So there we go. Now we have our profile picture. We have from the account, right? Profile picture. We've got the name. Then you can go to settings. You can do all this sort of good stuff. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to actually add your email and password. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right. So now you have an email and password in there. You want to actually follow Jayan, the founder of Drippi, my guy right there, because he will be updating you on everything. So now when we click continue, there we go. It's going to ask us to download the extension. So you just click on the extension. There we go. So you do want to be on a Chromium browser. You want to add a profile, add extension. There we go. So it's checking, downloaded, sweet. Now you're going to have to do the same email and password, or if you're doing multiple accounts, this is where you do the email and password of your main account where you want all the other accounts to be under. So if that was confusing, if you're only using one account, then don't even worry about it. So we're going to do password. Let me just go ahead and do this real quick. So there we go. Once you do your email and password, it's going to actually prompt, it's going to show you the Twitter account that you connected and the one that you're signed into, and then you just click connect. And then you are going to want to refresh Twitter so it connects faster. So you refresh, you go back, and then it's connected. Now you can click back to Drippi, and then you're all set. I would advise you to join the Telegram. We give out a ton of free value on there. So just click join. And then if you want to watch this really cool video by Tappa, then I highly recommend it. This video right here. Okay. So great video. Now I'm actually we can just do it on here. So I'm going to show you what you want to do after we log in, right? So this is what you're going to be prompted with. You can go to the demo to watch the video. And then after you watch the video, or you can just stay on this quick little video, you want to go to find leads, okay? Because that's the first thing we need to do. You're going to click on new lead source, and then you're going to be prompted with this. So you could either do lookalike leads, lead scraper, CSV import. I personally mostly do lead scraper, so I would click on lead scraper, and then this is where you start having options, right? So you can either do a tweet source or an account source, and I'm going to show you what both of those are. So for example, let's go to let's see who we have on here. Let's just go to Cold Email Wizard. Let's see, does he have any? I want to show you. So here, I know one guy that always has these giveaways, right? So if you go on here, so for example, if you go to some of these people on your feed, will have some. We'll have giveaways that you're going to want to look out for. Again, depending on who your ICP is. Actually, it doesn't have any. I'll just go to mine. Oh, no, that's not me. With an X. There we go. Here we go. So let me just find a quick little giveaway. just pause because this is getting ridiculous. Okay, here we go. So I made a quick giveaway going over how to prime your profile, right? And so it's basically these like, comment, must follow to get a DM. So all these that you can find, I would recommend you click on them. If this isn't the strategy that I personally use, but it is a strategy depending on if your target audience actually interacts with these types of posts. If they do, all you have to do is you just want to click on them, right? And then you're going to see that all these people are interacting with that tweet. So whenever you can just copy that link, right? And then you go back to Drippi, and then you can do tweet source that way. So when you paste, it's going to take all the information from that, all the people that interacted. So the retweeters and the likers is going to take all the people that interacted with a specific tweet. It'll take that information and then it'll scrape it. But the best way to do it, or the best way that I've found, is you want to do account source. So you want to find who your specific target audience, or who already has your target audience's attention. So we're going to go here to home, and we can scrape someone like Cold Emo Wizard. All right. So you want to do Black Hat Wizard, and all you have to do is you just take their link, right? And then you go back to Drippi. Let me X out of these real quick, and then you paste the username. There we go. And then depending on who your target audience actually is, it could be their followers or their following, or maybe if it's both, you can just do both. So you want to click on both, then you want to click on the bottom right hand corner. It said add a source. So you want to add the source. Then you can add as many sources as you want. I wouldn't do too many. I think around the 100K mark is a pretty decent amount. And then I would just click next. And then this is where you do your filters. Okay, so this is super, super important. And this will depend on a lot of different factors. So right off the bat, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to identify what your specific target audience has in their bio that you can identify them with. So if we click on bio contents, these are just going to be keywords that we can add to filter people inside the lead list that we just scraped. Okay, so in this specific scenario, we're going to look for people that follow, or that follow Cold Emo Wizard, or that he is following, and then we're going to use keywords to narrow down our search. So what I do to get these keywords, so I would open up a Google Sheet. Let me just go ahead and open one up. So you want to open up a Google Sheet, and then this is where we're going to be actually putting our keywords into, so that whenever you do it, you don't have to keep writing them all out. You can just copy and paste from a Google Sheet. So here we go. All you have to do is look at his profile and then see what he has. So he has lead generation for businesses, get your next 20 claims with cold email, watch this. Okay, so I would take lead, business, and then he has client, cold, maybe cold would be a good one. Okay, so now once you take stuff from his profile, I would go to the people that he's following, right? Because these are regularly higher level people. And then you're going to see what these, who in his following list you'd want to reach out to. And then you want to see what they have in their profile. Okay, so say I wanted to reach out to these ecom guys. So ecom with Brooke. So he has just the word ecom. So I would take that, copy it. Now to paste it in here. And then let's see, Chase Diamond has driven million, would probably be a really good one. Million. Partner 7-figure. Figure is always a good one. Figure. And then I saw that he also had marketing. He also had agency, right? All those are good words. If you're trying to reach out to agency owners, again, you can do the same process for any niche. Let's see what else. Building is also good. Building and built are great ones. So building, built, or build is also a good one, because people will say I build acquisition systems for people. I am building XYZ. I built XYZ, right? Another really good one. All these verbs you want to keep in mind. Okay, so help is always a good one. Helping, helped, right? Because I've helped this many agency owners get to 7 figures, or whatever it may be. Let's see what else. Health, fitness, marketing. We already have marketing. Trained. Building. We already have building, so we already have him. Let's see. Sales is probably a good one, and depending on who your ICP is. sales, and then let's see, coaching. Coaching has got to be a good one. Coaching. YouTube ads. Ads is probably going to be a good one as well. Right, so this is basically what you want to do. So you want to go down the list, and then you want to make sure your list of keywords is going to have all the people that you would want to reach out to, right? Because if you go through everyone, right, and then you have keywords that would have all the people that you want to reach out to inside of the list, then you're going to get a lot of people with similar profiles, because what a lot of people do is they just copy these people's bios. So if you have most of them, if you have a couple, you'll probably have most of them, because most people just say the same thing. So B2B would also be a good one, right? So you just want to start building out your list, and then once you're comfy with your list, right? Let's see, content, email marketing. We already had marketing, so we would have had her. Inventor probably could be a good one. Helping, we already have helping. Founder is always a good one. Founder. Shout out my guy Dylan from Serial Sales. So sales, we already have sales. Let's see what else. Cold caller, coach, closer. So all these are good keywords that you can add to your list. And then once you have your list, you just have to go back to Drippi, and then we just have to copy and paste these. Okay, so I'm just going to do it real, and you do have to do it one by one. So I'll do a couple, and then I'll pause the video so you don't have to stick through this. But let's just do that, add element. So that's basically what you got to do. Click on business, and that's just how you do it. If you want to add like a phrase, right, like if you want to do like 7-figure with a space, then that would be a phrase. If you want to do a simple, if you want to do like an at, if you want the bio to contain a link, you can also do that, like a specific link. I don't normally use symbol or linked. Symbol very rarely, but sometimes I do for like the email, so I do the at. But then I would just recommend you go with word and phrase. So I'm gonna pause it, and then I'm gonna finish up the keywords, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now we've got all the keywords, and then once you're done, you want to click on add a filter. If you can't click on add a filter, it's probably because you have one open, right? And then it won't let you, so you just have to X out of it or fill it out, and then you do add a filter. And then you're gonna see that this list will start, will basically just go down in numbers, right? So it was at 128, now we only have 62,000 leads. Another really interesting filter that you want to be using is the number of followers. Okay, so this will invariably decide how good of like the quality of your leads. Okay, so when people say that they're not getting good leads from Twitter, it's because they're not using this filter, or they're not using it well. So it really just depends on your niche. Again, I know I'm saying this a lot, but it really does. Like for example, e-com people could have huge stores and have 4 followers. I had a client that he closed a deal worth around like 150K with a guy that had 4 followers, and he was an e-com, right? But then if you're targeting agency owners, then that's probably not going to happen. So if you're targeting agency owners, just go for more than 10K, and obviously your reply rates won't be super crazy, but every time anyone replies, then it's high quality, right? So that's why I love just going for over 10,000 followers. And you will get replies. Again, look at my profile. Like I have 400 followers, right? I have 400 followers, and I get replies from people with over 10K every day, at least 10, right? At the very least. So yeah, right? And those are all really high quality that you can always be converting. So 10K, add a filter, and then this will get blown down to about 11K, which is still really good, right? Because now you have people that are only over 10K, and then people that have one of these keywords, right? So then you would click next. I don't necessarily go by number of tweets, number of following, or sometimes I will exclude. Good ones to exclude are like crypto, right? Or I guess it just depends on what your ICP is, but I typically do like crypto, BTC. Some people will have like ETH, right? And at least we're in a bear market right now, so these people are probably not, or they're at least not my ICP. So I would just exclude them, and then I would click on next, and then here you can preview the leads, right? It's not going to show you all of them. It will once you actually scrape them all. But I would just, for the naming, I typically just do the date. And if you are managing a couple accounts, I would do like account name. So I would do like Kelsey, and then I'd do the date, right? And then I would do save, and now it's actually going to start importing, and it'll take a while. It'll, like, the bigger the list, the longer it'll take. So I typically, and this will be in the credibility, in the how to stay consistent, but I typically scrape, or we'll just do this part right now. I typically scrape leads at night, and then when you wake up, you just run the accounts, right? So at night is when I scrape, and then when you wake up, you just run the accounts, which I'm going to show you how to actually run the account. But you do need to have your leads scraped. So since it does take a little bit, I just scrape at night. I wake up. The first thing I do is I check all the campaigns, and then that's when I will launch new campaigns if need be. So then you just go to automation, and then you're going to click on new. My God, my voice, dude. You're going to click on new automation. Then you're going to click on cold DM, okay? Because we're going to be running cold DM campaigns, and it's going to ask us to select the lead source, and then you're going to see the lead source that we just uploaded. And obviously it's not done, which is why it only shows 200 leads. You want to click on next, and then you want to add your personal info on here. So we're going to do Kelsey, job title. We're just going to say founder, product service, lead generation, category, marketing. Right, and then description, I usually just take it from my bio, right? So I help SaaS owners, right? So let's do that. And then you go to configure message. So you could have an AI that just does the whole message, but what I typically do is I either, again, depending on your niche, so you want to test this out, you either want to do a custom personalization, or you just want to be sending like a plain message, but a really good message with a really good offer with a really good script, which we already went over how to do. So I'm just going to open up that Google Doc right here. And then let's take this high leverage one. So let's do, yo, what's up? And then these personalizations are really, really good. So you want to do, yo, what's up, first name. So we're going to remove bro, yo, what's up, first name, was told about you, how's XYZ been, how's your business going, right? And then the first line, you want to make this unique because this is what people will be able to see in like their message request box, right? So right now I am running something along the lines of, I think it's yo first name, and then I do not double first name, I do haha, right? Just so it looks different, because everyone does like hey and then first name. I like to just be a little bit different. So you want to test out different like first lines that you can use. So you can do like yo first name, or you can just do like first name, or I've seen people do like emojis. So yeah, you just want to be testing the first message, and that all has to do with tracking, which we're going to see in the next module, right? Yeah, so tracking is the next module. I'm going to give you, dude, my voice again, I'm going to give you a free tracker so that you can be tracking all these things. So you want to do hey first name. This is high leverage, so we're just going to do yo, what's up, first name, was told about you, how's your business going? And then you could either leave it at that, or what you can do is you can personalize using AI, which is freaking amazing, right? And there are some things in the works, so hopefully soon you'll be able to not only take information from their bio, but Jayan is also working on a way to get personalized first lines from people's like recent tweets, from people's actual website, which is going to change the game completely. Okay, but for now we have, so you can personalize based on this, and I do recommend, depending on the niche, I recommend you try it out. Okay, so sometimes no personalization works best, maybe just like a first name, and sometimes you do want to be hitting people with personalized lines. So yeah, I would just recommend you test, because it varies depending on the niche. Okay, so I'm going to give you one of the actual scripts that I run when I do personalized lines. So give me just one sec. So it is this line right here. Let me just paste it. So insert one sentence, insert a one sentence, personalized compliment that uses info about the lead. Do not repeat any exact information from the bio, right? So then it would generate a personalized first line. And then so it'd be like, yo, what's up? I really admire you being a husband, father, founder, right? Or it'll make a personalized compliment based on this information. Again, soon we'll be able to take information from the website and from recent posts, which is gonna be such a freaking game changer. Super excited for that. But for now, this works really, really well. Again, just depending on your niche. So then you do next once you have your background and your message configured. You want to do next, and then this is where you are going to name your automation. Again, I typically do the name of the account and the date, and then this is a little bit not controversial, but you just want to be careful here. So depending on how active you've been on Twitter, you want to start. I recommend starting at around 10, and then slowly moving your way up to 16. Why? Because the max number of messages that you can send out is actually 400 messages per day. But you'll see that we're going to skip messages. We're going to skip people whose DMs are close. So if you're sending 16 messages and 6 of those people are actually 6 of those people that you're sending out messages to per hour have their DMs closed, then we're only going to be sending 10 messages per hour. So you can play around with this. I personally don't go over 16 per hour just in case no one has their DMs closed, which is really rare. But I just like to be on the safer side, especially when it's client accounts. Again, do this at your own risk. The highest I go is 16. And then after that, again, 16 per hour. You can change if you want to do per hour or per day. I just do per hour. I just feel like it's easier for me. And then you click start automation, right? And then that's pretty much it. After you click start automation, it'll start loading, and then you'll be able to see your automation right here. So it's probably so it's probably gonna ask you for that. Feel free to select the basic plan if you want to try it out, or if you want us to take care of it. When you go to start trial, there is a custom done for you, and we can take care of the whole operation. Okay, so if you want us to help you with your offer, if you want us to take care of your offer, take care of your script, optimize your profiles, do a bunch of volume through a bunch of burner accounts, and then do all this for you, then you can just go on here to done for you, custom. You can click on learn more, and then you can book a call right here. I do suggest you watch this video. This is a pretty cool video that's gonna pop up right here. I do suggest you watch this video. That's me right there again. But yeah, just book a call, and then we'll get you taken care of. All right, but that is pretty much it. Okay, so that is how you want to be setting up your accounts. Again, I think the most important part is the lead scraping part and how you actually do the filters. Test it out. That's what works really, really well for me and my clients. All these keywords, finding them how I showed you, and then the number of followers. Okay, so quality is directly related on Twitter. For the most part, quality is directly related to the number of followers that they have. Again, not always. There are exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, that's what you want to do. So if you're struggling with lead quality, just up the number of followers and you will be good to go. All right, so I hope that was useful. I appreciate you staying to the end of this video, and we will talk soon. Peace.